Hi, my name is Bob and I'm renovating this 1973 Egg Harbor Sportfish boat. Well, hello everyone, welcome to Renovation Sportfish. If you're new to the channel or you've never seen one of my videos before, we are renovating a 1973 Egg Harbor Sportfish boat, and currently the videos are kind of recapping between the years 2011 when we bought the boat and I'll probably say up to like 2018, where I really didn't take videos. I was just taking photographs, so I'm just presenting them in a video format, and we're going through each year and different parts, and in this episode we're in part 2 of year 2014. So eventually this channel is going to turn into me actually working on the boat and sweating and swearing. I won't be swearing, but and all that kind of stuff. But right now it's more of a recap, so here's the recap for year 2014, probably the middle of the year. So hope you enjoy it and come back for more. Okay, so before we get into all the projects, or the 2 projects I'm working on in this particular video, I'm going to go through some of the materials I'm using and some of the methods and things real quickly, so I don't have to keep repeating myself each time I show something like that. So I start doing some fiberglassing in this video, and or show pictures of things I fiberglass. And the material I'm using is a piece. I have a piece of it right here. It's called Zinol, and it's filled with an X here. It's not like regular fiberglass in that it feels more like a cotton cloth. The mesh is kind of more like a screen door kind of a pattern to it, and it conforms to curves really well. It's more for abrasion resistance. It's not really, you're not going to make a structure out of this stuff. It's just not made for that. And the structure of the boat is the wood, and this is just on there for, like I said, abrasion resistance. So that's what I use. I use 2 layers on any horizontal surfaces you see me fiberglassing, and a single layer on all the vertical surfaces. Factory only put like a single layer of traditional type fiberglass on the horizontal surfaces. So you're going to see this. If you see this on some of the wood, it's once I sand it, I put it on. Once I sand it with an 80 grit paper on a random orbital sander, it becomes like a white haze on the wood. So that's what you're seeing when you see this. So that's the fiberglass. I put fillets everywhere. I don't leave any corners unfilleted because I feel that adds a little strength to the final product, and it's also easier to clean and paint and all those kind of things too. So I use 2 sizes of fillets. I'll just call them a small and a big one just to make it simple. Small one, I use a regular old popsicle stick, maybe modify the edge a little bit. And then for the larger ones, I use one of these. It's West Systems like stirring stick. Got flat on one side for scraping stuff off, and it's got a nice rounded area on this side for a larger fillet. So that's what I use to do all my fillets. Some of the wood I have to contour it. Sometimes I'll use an electric planer. In this case, in this video, I didn't use an electric planer for any of this. I just used my old trusty longboard that I've used on my automotive projects that I've done for bodywork. Start with 36 grit and work up. So you'll see this on kind of the overhangs. This is what I use to form all those. So I use that, and then the other, my little pad, my little 3M sanding block that you get these anywhere. I use this too. So those are some of the materials and some of the tools I'm going to use to install and form these pieces, and now you know all about that. So now we can get on to the projects. The first project we're going to get into here are the Flybridge overhangs. Now, these consisted of 2 layers of 3/4 inch marine grade plywood. I veered a little bit from the factory design. On the starboard side, they had a piece of mahogany trim where they ended their fiberglass. I eliminated that and just rounded the whole edge. And on the port side, they had the ladder right at the edge of the overhang. So you kind of stepped up onto the slanted part of it. So I notched that side to fit the ladder in there. So besides that, before I could install the pieces, you'll see that I had to fiberglass the main bulkhead, both the port and starboard side. I only have pictures of the starboard side, so you'll have to imagine that. Same thing happened on the port side. Once that was fiberglassed, I installed the first layer, then fit the second layer. Fortunately, I didn't take any pictures of when I had to contour the top of the second layer into the Flybridge deck. You know, the plywood kind of was sticking up like this. You can kind of see in the mock-up photographs. And then the next thing you know, the thing is rounded over and I'm already fiberglassing. So yeah, once I got those in and contoured, then I started fiberglassing. I fiberglassed all the way on the Flybridge deck as far as I could go forward, up to about where the helm station would kind of be and where the wires were sticking out of the through the deck and all that. That's where I stopped because I had to do some other work before I could keep going on. So So for modifying the Helm station and getting it back together, there was 6 basic things that I wanted to accomplish. And I'll just touch on each of them and give a little description of what I did. The first one was most obvious, the fiberglass dashboard piece and the fiberglass Helm station piece were supposed to be one, they were 2. So first deal was to reconnect these 2 pieces. Second thing was relocating the controls in the Helm station themselves, so I would be a little bit more comfortable driving. I'm only 5'7", and I felt like I was stretched out, like I was on a big chopper with high handlebars to actually drive the thing. So I raised it up and kind of tipped it back so the controls were right in a nice, easy location for me. Third thing was to reestablish the camber in the dashboard, the fiberglass dashboard piece. Once this piece cracked in the center, the thin fiberglass in the dashboard part just kind of flopped down, so it was kind of flat and then it curved, so I had to reestablish that. Fourth thing was to add some beefier supports underneath for attaching like the front walls and side walls and the cabinet faces and things. Factory had some little plywood pieces here and there, but I just put wood in there everywhere, and you'll see the amount I put in there, and it's a lot beefier and stronger. Probably adds a little bit of weight, but this is the Helm station. This is where you drive the boat, and I don't want this thing falling apart and breaking in half like it did before. So anyways, I put some wood in there. The next thing was the helm itself is where the steering is and this whole control box kind of a thing. I was switching from a manual cable type steering to a hydraulic type steering, and so the helm piece didn't quite fit the same, the bolt holes didn't line up, and I wanted to move the steering wheel down a little closer to me. So there was a factory plywood piece of mahogany behind the whole controls and everything, and I had to cut a little piece of that out and put a new piece in so I could drill new holes and get that set up. And then the last thing is, because I moved the walls out further on the Flybridge in my last video, you hear me talk about that, I had to add a couple spacers on the ends, like 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, to make everything work. Now, I purposely left the fiberglass dashboard and the front walls and cabinets in place while I was going to attach the helm station to it before I removed everything. That way, when I did remove everything, I was sure that everything was going to go back in the same place. So that's the first part of it. Once I reconnected those 2 pieces, then I was able to remove everything else off the Flybridge and clear the whole deck there. There's a little more to it than I'm talking about, but I want to keep this somewhat brief and not too detailed for everyone to fall asleep in. So yeah, here's the photos. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it and you can join us for the next one. So until then, have a good one and we'll see you soon right here on Renovation Sportfish.